welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Samantha. I would love it if you would subscribe if you like beauty and bad jokes. Ugh, I have a hair on my lip gloss. I am wearing the Glossier lip gloss, which I don't like, but I wanted to wear it for filming just to like cycle through my products more, and I'm reminded why I hate it so much. It's so thick. And it just feels like a film over my lips. I don't like it. So today we're gonna be doing makeup products that I was influenced to buy, which I thought would be an interesting video concept because I know that many influencers and beauty content creators have done this video concept before, but I thought my spin on it might be interesting because like I don't really have a platform. I feel like I am purely a consumer in the beauty space. I'm not doing any of the influencing in return. So I thought this would be kind of an interesting look into how beauty content creators actually influence consumers' purchasing decisions. I guess before I get into it, like, to be honest, as I've been reflecting on like the items in my collection and why I bought them, basically everything I purchase is because it's, you know, talked about favorably in the beauty community. But these specific products that I have can be attributed to like one specific person. Like some of my other products, it might be like a couple people, or like the general consensus in the beauty community was that, you know, this product was a good product. But these products are products that like I was influenced by one specific content creator to purchase. I purchased the Colourpop No Filter Concealer based off of Raw Beauty Christie. When I purchased this, I knew that she used this a lot on her channel, but at the time I couldn't remember if she used it as eyeshadow primer and concealer or just eyeshadow primer. But I purchased this as a concealer because I wanted to use it as a concealer. Later I realized she only uses this as an eyeshadow primer and actually doesn't like this as a concealer. I'm almost done with this bottle. I know I really should finish it up, but I just have concealers that I like so much better than this that I just never want to use this. This concealer I don't love because I noticed that as it wears off, the makeup kind of becomes more apparent on your skin, so it looks cakier throughout the day even though you're losing coverage as it's wearing off, if that makes sense. But this does make a good eyeshadow primer because it's not that wet. I know like sometimes I feel like if I'll apply a wet concealer in the eye area, it will kind of mix with the eyeshadow weirdly, but this is more like tacky. And so it works nicely as like an eyeshadow primer if you want to do like cut creases or cool eye looks. I try not to use concealer as eyeshadow primer because I know you're technically not supposed to. Robert Welsh, I know, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like saving this tiny little bit of concealer so that I can use as eyeshadow primer if I want to do any cool graphic looks. But then I know I'm not supposed to use concealer as eyeshadow primer, so I never end up reaching for it. And it's just like, one of these days I will finish this. I don't like it, but it's not Christie's fault because I bought it for a different purpose than how Christie uses it. Up next, I purchased this Oma Beauty Highlighter and Contour Stick. What's this officially called? This is the Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick in the shade White Pearl. I purchased this off of the recommendation of Samantha Ravdal, who I believe was one of the first beauty content creators, at least that I'm subscribed to, that did a brand review of Oma when they first launched. This I purchased over the summer because it was on sale for half off. I don't think I would purchase this if it was full price. I believe it was, I think like around $50 full price and then $25 on sale. To me, $50 just feels like a lot. I'll put the actual price somewhere on the screen. I really like the contour. It's definitely on the cooler side. And I also really like the highlighter. I don't know if you can see it. I find that I use the contour stick way more often than the highlighter just because I prefer powder highlights or like cream highlights in a compact over like stick and liquid highlighters. Because it's a stick and just based on like the color of it, I feel like this works better for more like minimal makeup versus I'm only gonna contour if I want to do like a full face, you know? So I feel like I just use the two sides for very different purposes. So it doesn't really feel like one, you know, good, like cohesive all-in-one product in that sense. But I feel like that's really just because like I don't really contour, I don't really bronze, which I know is like not like standard, I guess. But I would also recommend this, so thank you, Sam. Next up, I purchased this Patrick Ta blush off of the recommendation of Smoky Glow. I remember she was doing a ranking my blushes video and she ranked her Patrick Ta blush very, very highly. This is just the powder blush. I have this in the shade She's Passionate. I don't remember which shade Hannah had hers in, but she just spoke so highly of this blush in that video that I really wanted to purchase it for myself. I was already in the market for like a high-end powder blush from a brand that is, you know, very trendy and a brand that I was interested in, so this product definitely fit the bill. So this blush is really, really weird because whenever, like, it's very much like hard panned, like in so many kind of areas of this compact, I guess. Like it looks like all along the sides I've gotten zero use out of the blush, but then right where the logo is, as you can see, there's like a lot of kind of missing product, I guess. It's not because I use it a lot, it's just because like I have to really, really kind of really dig my brush really into the product in order to get any sort of payoff. So let me just show you an example of how kind of weirdly, I guess, this performs. I'll do a swatch from like here, this kind of hard panned area where it looks like I have not really gone into the blush at all. And as you can see, nothing comes off. Like, I don't understand. It's like the top layer is just weird. I don't know if you can see it on my hand, but it performs weirdly. I literally don't even know how to explain like what happens with this. Like I feel like in some areas it's very hard panned, in some areas the blush is usable. Once you get this to show up, it does look really pretty on the skin. It doesn't look heavy, it plays well with a variety of other face products and coverage products, which I feel like is pretty standard for a powder blush. I don't know if this is a fluke, but it is a really pretty blush. I really, really like it despite whatever is going on here. I can get it to work for me. As hard as it was to get a good swatch, which I can't even tell, like, is this a good swatch in this lighting? It's like hard to build up the pigment, but I feel like on your cheeks, you don't always want like this really, you know, concentrated, high pigmented area of, you know, blush. You know, this gives a very, very light pigmentation that you can, I guess, build up, which is I feel like really all you would want or need in a powder blush. So this definitely works. I don't like regret it. I don't think it's necessarily like an amazing, amazing blush, but I don't regret the purchase at all. And it's a really nice everyday color. So up next from Jamie Page, I purchased this Revlon Candid, is this a foundation? Is it? Yeah, I guess a foundation. She kind of raved about this a few years ago as being like the drugstore alternative to the IT Cosmetics CC cream. When I purchased this, I did not really have any desire to, nor any funds for purchasing a $40 high-end CC cream. So, you know, at the time I was more into drugstore makeup, so I wanted to try a more inexpensive alternative. So this is I would say like a light to medium coverage. When I first used this, I remember thinking that the finish looked a little too makeup-y. I was surprised that Jamie liked this as much as she did. And at the beginning, I remember thinking that this broke me out as well, but I wore it recently and I don't think it did. It's hard to tell, I feel like, to figure out like what exactly is breaking you out. So this maybe breaks me out. I would say depending on the products you pair this with, in terms of like if you don't put a glowy primer underneath, could look cakey, could look makeup-y, but it's definitely flexible, I would say, in that sense, in terms of finish and in terms of coverage. I feel like you can build it up, but it's a pretty light coverage to begin with. So this is fine, especially for a product that you can find at the drugstore. This, I don't really think I would repurchase, but it's good. And next we have the Modern Renaissance palette, which I purchased in 2017 at the recommendation of Lindsay Rem, who isn't a beauty content creator necessarily. She's more of a lifestyle vlogger, but she does do like, you know, her everyday makeup routines occasionally. And I remember she did a look with the like pink and red shades called Wearable Dead, and I just like wanted to be like her so badly. I mean, I still do. I think she's amazing. She's so cool. And this palette was definitely very, very trendy and very hyped in 2017 when I bought it. But something about that video that Lindsay did with this really, really pushed me over the edge. and really motivated me to actually bite the bullet and purchase this palette. I talked about this in another recent video that I will link down below, but I did get a lot of use out of it. I feel like as of now, I've kind of moved on to other palettes, but I do not regret this palette at all. Such a good palette that I feel like was like kind of my like introduction to like high-end eyeshadow. Actually, that's a lie. I did buy the Urban Decay Naked in 8th grade. Good palette, lots of fond memories. Glad I purchased it. I don't get a ton of use of it now, but I definitely did when it was more popular, and I probably should get more use out of it because it is still, I think, still holds up today. Now we're gonna talk about Miss Julia Mazzucato, who is no longer on YouTube, unfortunately, but she is amazing. She is such a bright, intelligent person and very, very talented at makeup. So, of course, as a viewer of Julia Mazzucato, I did naturally purchase the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Ritz. Let me swatch this. So this is kind of a clear-ish, not entirely clear, but it has a light brown, very, very sheer, very light brown base with silver shimmer running through it. This is stunning. It just gives such a natural looking glossy eye effect, a natural glow to the eye. I feel like this color is definitely more suited for natural no makeup when you don't really want to look like you're wearing eye makeup, but you want to kind of tie the face all together. If you have maybe a little bit of concealer, a little bit of blush and highlight, so you kind of want a little bit of something on the eyes just to tie everything together, I think this is definitely the eyeshadow product for that. The thing for me is, like, if I want to do eyeshadow, or if I like set out to do eyeshadow, that generally means like I want to use at least 2 or 3 eyeshadow shades. When I first used this, I was definitely like, this is a little bit too natural looking for me. I generally like my eyeshadow to look a little bit more impactful, but I actually have gotten some pretty good use out of this. Definitely more recently. I've been definitely doing a lot more no makeup as of recently. So yeah, I do really like this. I feel like if you are somebody that wants really, really impactful eyeshadow, if you want to look like you're wearing eyeshadow, I don't think you would like this, but I do think it's such a pretty glowy, I guess, shade. Like, it just makes your eyes look very naturally glitzy and glowy and glossy. Okay, another one from Julia Mazzucato is the ABH Foundation. This I purchased because I was in the market for just a good go-to foundation, and I really wanted, like, you know, good high-end one. This is like her favorite foundation and has been, I think, for a while. She liked this because, you know, it is somewhat luminous, but more natural. It's not super dewy or greasy. And as somebody who likes somewhat of a glowy look, I thought that this would be kind of a good satin to luminous foundation that I could make look more dewy or more matte depending on how I used it. And that's exactly what this is. I would say it's a solid medium coverage. I remember, again, not liking it at first, but the more I use it, the more it's growing on me. Yeah, I do really like this. It doesn't look super makeup-y. It has a pretty good skin-like finish, especially given the coverage. It's not like a crazy full coverage foundation. I would say it is more medium. This guy is really good, so thank you, Julia, for the recommendation. Up next, we have quite a few items that I purchased off the recommendation of Emily Noel. I don't really watch her channel that much anymore just because I've come to learn that we have pretty different makeup tastes. But when I was first getting into makeup, I would watch her channel all the time. She, you know, would always give such thorough, honest reviews that I just knew I could trust her. And when I was looking to really build my collection and maybe purchase some of those more boring, basic products that, like, I didn't want to, you know, experiment. Like, if you want eyeliner, you just want a good eyeliner. You don't want to try out a lot of formulas. Like, you just want a good go-to that would just work, that you know would work. So whenever I would need, you know, one of those kind of more boring, stable products, I would always look to Emily Noel for her recommendations. And these are all from the drugstore because, you know, back then, I couldn't really afford, you know, high-end makeup. And if it was going to be like a basic product that didn't really excite me to spend a lot of money, you know, on it, or if it was something that I knew I would be going through quickly, I wanted it to be more affordable. So I guess the first thing is this Milani Kohl eyeliner. Here is what it looks like. This is very, very old. I really don't use like a pencil eyeliner often at all. I don't know. I feel like it's like good. Like I said, I'm not really a big pencil eyeliner person. I don't really have a ton of use for this type of product in my collection. And I also feel like because of that, I'm not too picky when it comes to pencil eyeliners. So like it's fine, like as long as the color shows up in some capacity and doesn't transfer a ridiculous amount, like I'm happy with it. So, you know, this is a fine, decent drugstore eyeliner pencil, but I honestly haven't used it in so long that like I couldn't truly give like a real review on this. Up next is this Physicians Formula eyeliner. The 2-in-1 lash boosting eyeliner and serum in the shade Ultra Black. This is a pen eyeliner. I think I'm almost done with this one. I've repurchased this product, standard pen eyeliner. I've purchased this product multiple times and I'm probably due for a new one. This one is in the shade Ultra Black. I believe there's another shade just called Black, which is a lot more sheer and it's not good. So you have to get the Ultra Black. And I've also heard that the waterproof one is even more superior. For me, I find, you know, a brush tip liquid eyeliner pen to be the easiest to use in terms of doing eyeliner or even creating wings. I much prefer this type of eyeliner over a felt tip or one of those, I guess, like well eyeliners, if that makes sense. So yeah, this I really like. I feel like I said, I haven't experimented a ton with eyeliners because once I found this one, I just kept repurchasing. So I can't really compare it to any other eyeliners, but this is very good. I'm definitely running low on this pen, and so I will probably repurchase this exact same one. All right, up next, also from Emily Noel, is this Milani eyeshadow primer. I don't know if this comes in multiple shades, but I have 01 Nude. This is a very good eyeshadow primer. I've noticed that my eyeshadow kind of creases less and stays on longer when I use this. It's a little bit sticky and tacky, that it kind of helps the pigment show up a little bit better, especially on first application. But, you know, you can still blend your eyeshadow easily over this primer. So it's a really good, you know, drugstore eyeshadow primer. All right, and my last product from Emily Noel is this Milani, again, Prep Set and Glow powder. This is in the shade 02. So this is, it's an illuminating transparent powder. So this I use as, or used, I guess. I don't really use this anymore because the little top of the compact like fully came off. So this is exposed to air and probably expired, so I don't use it now. But this is kind of like a translucent finishing powder that is illuminating, is how it's marketed as, but it's not a highlighter. There are no particles of shimmer at all. Basically what this does is, or at least in my experience, what this does is it sets your makeup, but it doesn't add any kind of mattifying properties to your makeup. To me, what the illuminating aspect of this powder does is it kind of counteracts the mattifying that would have been done if this was a normal powder. Does this make sense?
Nope. No, that does not make sense.
I like to set my makeup just for longevity, but I also do like to sometimes wear like cream blushes, so I don't really want like a really mattifying setting powder that like won't play well with those types of products. So I just like, you know, a nice translucent powder to just really lightly set my makeup and maybe control some oils like around my nose or my forehead where I might get more oily than some of the other areas of my face. And this is such a good powder because I don't like to look matte. I just want to like set my makeup just so I know it will kind of be locked in throughout the day. I don't know if you can see the swatch that I did of this. Obviously it's a translucent powder, but it just like, it doesn't mattify the skin basically. It adds like the tiniest bit of like natural lit from within glow, but like barely. I don't know if this product is still around. I don't know if it's been discontinued. I wanted to buy a new one of this when the cap came off, but I couldn't find it at Ulta or Target. So I don't know what's happening with this guy, but I do really like it. And as you can see, I've definitely hit pan on it. So yeah, this is very good. Hopefully it's still around. that was some makeup that I was influenced to buy. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments down below what makeup have you been influenced to buy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Bye!